and welcome to the Daily Cricket Happening Show with your host Ram. Today, this on a Sunday, where it is going to be India who have actually defeated defeated South Africa comprehensively in the last match of the league to enter the semi-finals of the Champions Trophy for the fifth time in the Champions Trophy history, and they would be meeting Bangladesh in the semi-finals. But people might be wondering as to how India have already reached the semi-finals when the Group B is totally open with all the four teams be locked on to. Well, one is because of the superior run rate that India has right now, which is 1.37 if I'm right. And tomorrow the match between Pakistan and Sri Lanka is going to be a total knockout once again. And if whichever team wins, yes, they would definitely get 4 points. But also let's remember that India has a superior run rate, and that's the reason it's said that India has already reached the semi-finals as of now. Because if at all any of the teams are going to win, it has to be by a huge margin of 250 runs, and that's the precise reason India have already clinched a spot in the semi-finals of the ICC Champions Trophy 2017. And as I said, the fifth semi-finals for India. And what a victory. I would attribute this victory to the Indian bowlers who bowled with absolutely, I would say, they realized that there was no swing available. It was all basically off the pitch. And the Indian bowlers definitely in a very, very crucial encounter with South Africa. And South Africa were thrown out of the tournament. And as you know, they are known as chokers. And when it came to the crunch, South Africa lost it. And today it was a very first it was a very good toss to win here at the Oval. This was the same ground on which India had to suffer the defeat at the hands of the Sri Lankans. And people are keeping their fingers crossed as South Africa is the number one ranked ODI side in the world. And India, what they did here is basically they won the toss, and Virat Kohli rightly put the South Africans into bat first. Probably looking at the experience that he had in the previous match here at the Oval, India decided to bring in Ravichandran Ashwin into the lineup, which was a good move. They decided to drop Umesh Yadav, which was expected after Umesh Yadav's poor showing against Sri Lanka the other day. And it all started. So Indian bowling, let's have a look at the Indian bowling card. In fact, they bowled out the South Africans for 191. Tremendous bowling. Let's have a look at the story as to what really happened. So Quinton de Kock and Hashim Amla were kept absolutely quiet in the power play overs by a wonderful spell of bowling from Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Jasprit Bumrah. It was very quickly one saw that Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Bumrah realized that there is no swing available on this wicket, and they decided to bowl stump to stump. And especially it was very good to see their approach. They definitely came up with a definite game plan here, one could say, as Quinton de Kock and Hashim Amla were tied up in knots by Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Jasprit Bumrah in the power play overs. And Quinton de Kock, who normally is a very fluent player on the offside, was really not given any freebies on the offside. They really kept bowling a very good line to him, and in the process forcing him to make errors to find runs. Nevertheless, he was kept at the wicket. Hashim Amla too struggled at the crease, not getting his timing right. And as I said, it was tremendous bowling, well thought out bowling, and Jasprit Bumrah was given the new ball, and what a wonderful spell he bowled today. Bowling with the new ball, he picked up the man of the match as well with his bowling figures. And Quinton de Kock and Amla, so India definitely set the right pace. Yes, the openers, the South African openers definitely added 76 runs for the first wicket, but in 17.3 overs, so that was a long time coming, I would say. And then Ashwin was the one who came back playing his first match in the Champions Trophy, provided the Indians the breakthrough when he actually forced Hashim Amla to play a forcing shot, trying to cut a delivery from Ashwin, and Dhoni actually picked up the catch smartly. So Hamla was gone. Caught Dhoni ball Ashwin for 35, 54 balls, 3 fours and 1 6. The South African score 76 for 1. After that, du Plessis came in and joined Quinton de Kock, and Jadeja was pressed into service. And the left arm spinner Jadeja, who normally operates very well in tandem with Ravichandran Ashwin, bowled superbly, and he actually forced Quinton de Kock with a delivery which was actually bowled to him in a slower manner, and Quinton de Kock was gone, trying to, in fact the previous ball there was a loud appeal for LBW as he tried to flick a delivery from the offside onto the leg side, but this time Jadeja was very smart. He actually pushed the ball in straighter. Quinton de Kock was gone, as Quinton de Kock, once again trying to play across the line, was beaten all ends up, and his stumps were absolutely shattered as he was clean bowled by Jadeja for 53 of 72 deliveries with 4-4. So that meant 116 for 2. And then at 116 for 2 at the halfway stage, the Indian bowlers were doing a tremendous job. But when du Plessis and de Villiers were at the wicket, what one saw, there was a sense of urgency. Du Plessis and de Villiers were, they came and they immediately started running hard between the wickets, starting putting pressure on the fielders by taking the quick singles, and they were doing a very good job. They had added 28 runs pretty quickly in no time. In 4 overs, they suddenly were trying to up the tempo as 24 runs were added. And that was the time it was the wicket of de Villiers. Now this was Faf du Plessis' absolute misjudgment. In fact, du Plessis went for a run where probably he could have not gone for that run because in fact it ended up with A.B. de Villiers being run out when A.B. de Villiers had to charge in, and in the process Pandya was pretty quick at the stumps, and Dhoni was the man who took the bails off in a flash, and de Villiers was walking back to the pavilion, run out for 16 of 12 balls with 1-4, and that made the score 140 for 3 in the 29th over, and the real problem started for South Africa. They already had problems as the run rate was pretty low at that particular stage, and A.B. de Villiers and du Plessis were trying to revive matters, but with that run out, which was a silly run out one thought, things really got complicated. And then du Plessis did something which probably one would have not expected. Taking a start, stopping, once again taking a start, in the process putting David Miller in 2 minds, and Miller was the victim as Miller, trying to get to the other end, was gone, run out by Bumrah-Kohli combination for 1 of 3 balls. It made it 142 for 4 in the 30th over, and after that it was only du Plessis in the middle at the time, but Hardik Pandya and du Plessis was sucked into the pressure as well, as Hardik Pandya bowled a beautiful off-cutter, a slow off-cutter, which du Plessis, probably trying to play it round, was gone. He was clean bowled as on his knees, as he was clean bowled by Pandya for 36 or 50 deliveries with 1-4, and that made 157 for 5, and as I said, was a real collapse. 51 runs and 8 wickets were lost for South Africa to be ground out for 191. After that, Duminy came in, but then the Indian bowlers were absolutely over the South Africans. They knew that it was a matter of just tightening the noose around the South Africans' neck, and Bumrah was called in, and Bumrah came in and picked up the wicket of Chris Morris, who holed out for 4 of 8 deliveries. Phil Cavallo was LBW bowled Bumrah for 4, who was once again turning it on beautifully. And then Bhuvaneshwar Kumar picked up the wickets of Kagiso Rabada for 5 and Moni Morkel for naught. Imran Tahir was run out for 1, leaving Duminy not out on 20 of 41 deliveries with 1-4. And South Africans were all out for 191. A magnificent bowling effort from the Indians. Absolutely. The credit should go to the Indian bowlers for getting this victory against South Africa, which helped them sail into the semi-finals. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, look at that bowling. Each and every bowler did his bit. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, 7.3 overs, no maiden, 2 for 23. Jasprit Bumrah was man of the match. First bowling well with the new ball, then coming up and picking up 2 wickets. 8 overs, no maiden, 2 for 28. Ravichandran Ashwin in his first dig in the Champions Trophy, 9 overs, 1 for 43. Got the breakthrough. Hardik Pandya bowled that beautiful off-cutter to du Plessis, 10 overs 1 for 52. And Ravindra Jadeja, what a spell of bowling from Ravindra Jadeja. Can you believe it? 10 overs, no maiden, 39 runs and 1 wicket. And in that 39 runs, Ravindra Jadeja did not even concede a single boundary. Such was his control over the South African batsman. And also one has to say those runouts, that silly runouts really contributed. And one has to say that du Plessis was really guilty over there, because two major players of the major South African players were run out, De Villiers and David Miller. Now, India had to chase 192, and one knew that it was even though the pitch was slow, one knew that it was not something to be really nothing to worry about. But Rohit Sharma, after showing some aggressive intent, initially they started off in sedate fashion against Rabada and Morkel, and then Rohit Sharma hit a 6 and a 4 in a knock of 12 of 20 balls, and then he tried to heave Morkel into the stands, and in the process he actually ended up getting an edge. Quinton de Kock taking the catch. He was gone for 12 of 20 deliveries with 1 4 and 1 6. The Indian innings, it read 23 for 1 in the 6th over. After that, Dhawan and Kohli took over, and I have to say, Shikhar Dhawan was an enterprising innings. I mean, the way he was playing strokes, he was shuffling down the offside and turning those balls onto the leg side. He hit some very nice cut shots, nice pull shots, and also he pulled a lot of deliveries onto the onside. I would say predominantly he scored a lot of runs through the onside, and he was also not shy of actually lofting the bowler as well. And Dhawan was also showing some real aggression in his approach today, which was good to see. And Virat Kohli, I have to say, started off in an unconvincing manner. He was not getting the ball on the middle of the bat. It was probably going through the edges, and Virat Kohli had to bide his time. He waited, probably 20-30 runs was a bit difficult to get for Kohli, but nevertheless he was giving company to Dhawan. Dhawan was looking supremely confident in his stroke play, and as that was going on, Dhawan was also stroking the ball in a very fluent manner. Virat Kohli was the one who was struggling to get his touch, but slowly but surely started getting his groove, and slowly those strokes that we know about Virat Kohli was following. His very nonchalant flick that he does through the mid-wicket region, and we saw one whipping flick through the mid-wicket region for a 4, which was a real beauty. And he also played those very perfect cover drives that he's known for, where with a mere push of the bat he can send the ball scudding to the fence. And suddenly Kohli was gaining in confidence, and he was getting the ball in the middle of the bat, and there the problems for the South Africans started, as this partnership started blossoming into a real flower, I would say, as 128 runs partnership was put between Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli. In fact, Kohli also hit a very nice 6, I thought it was, the bowling of Morris, if I'm not wrong, when he deposited them into the stands for a magnificent 6. Virat Kohli also hit a good 6, and suddenly, as I said, runs were cascading, with Dhawan actually, probably India keeping the run rate in mind if at all the points get locked with the other teams. Dhawan decided to go for an aggressive approach, and that aggressive approach was something which was very refreshing for Shikhar Dhawan. And not only that, Shikhar Dhawan, when he scored 78 today of 83 deliveries with 12 fours and 1 6, in fact he is the top run getter in this Champions Trophy right now. As of now, Shikhar Dhawan has the maximum number of runs in the Champions Trophy. So that is a sort of a big sort of a feather in his cap here right now. And that was going on. Then Imran Tahir was the one who picked up his wicket when Shikhar Dhawan had smacked one to the boundary, and the very next delivery Dhawan was got as he came down the wicket. Imran Tahir slipped in a wrong one, and in the process of adjusting to the shot, the ball went high up in the air, and du Plessis settled under it very well, and Dhawan was a goner for 78 of 83 deliveries, 12 fours and 1 6. He already set the Indian innings on the course of victory, with Virat Kohli still there. Yuvraj Singh came in. Yuvraj Singh, wouldn't say he was very confident at the crease, especially Imran Tahir. The leg spinner was troubling him, but Yuvraj Singh was really coming out of it, by slamming a boundary, and definitely Tahir was a bit tough to handle for Yuvraj Singh, as Tahir was winning the battle at times against Yuvraj Singh. Virat Kohli, he was looking confidence personified. He had already got back his mojo, one could say, as he was really getting on to the bowlers in a big way, and Kohli was going on in a serene fashion as the score started moving on, and finally Yuvraj Singh brought a really a very good end to this particular match when he actually swung Imran Tahir into the spectators for a six to actually bring an end to the match, with India winning the match comprehensively by 8 wickets and sailing into the 5th semi-finals of the ICC Champions Trophy, and they meet Bangladesh in the semi-finals. Well, Kohli was not out on 76 of 101 balls, 7 fours and 1 6. Yuvraj Singh was not out on 23 of 25 deliveries, 1 4 1 6. Game over, and the man of the match went to Jasprit Bumrah for his throttling of the South African batting order in the initial stages. As far as the bowling was concerned, Rabada 9 overs 2 minutes done for 34 did his bit, but there was very less runs to defend. Morne Moikel also did a fine job, 7 overs 1 minute 1 for 38. Felikabayo bowled 5 overs for 25. Morris 8 overs was hit for 40 runs. Imran Tahir 1 for 37. I thought he bowled well. Dumini 3 overs none for 17, and it was all over as India, as I said, went into the semi-finals of the ICC Champions Trophy for the 5th time. And now and definitely tomorrow's match, which is coming up between Pakistan and Sri Lanka, happens to be a really wonderful game, and one knows that whichever team wins. So South Africa once again knocked out of the ICC Champions Trophy, and as far as Pakistan and Sri Lanka are concerned, either team wins, it is basically that is the team which will actually take on England in the semi-finals. And as I said, India have already made their position sure in the semi-finals because of the fact that India has a superior run rate, and also they are absolutely safe because whichever team that wins tomorrow, whether it is Pakistan or Sri Lanka, it will be they have to win by a huge margin of 250 runs, or they have to win by probably a margin with probably 20 odd overs to spare. So that is something. In cricket one can say nothing, but if at all the match probably goes like one-sided, where the one team actually skittles the other team for a paltry total, and then they go on smacking it. Well, it's possible. So one has to wait and watch, but definitely the Pakistan-Sri Lanka game should be a sort of a real finisher as far as the ICC Champions Trophy semi-final placings are concerned. So we'll wait for the outcome of that, and I'll be there to recount the tale as to what happened between Pakistan and Sri Lanka tomorrow in the evening. Thanks for your company as always, and thanks for your very good cooperation on this daily cricket show of mine, Cricket Happenings, and I am hoping to see you all tomorrow on my next cricket broadcast, which will be coming up tomorrow. And till such time that happens, this is your host Ram, finally signing off this on a Sunday. Thank you.